Hello, I'm LuNEJuNE, and in today's video, I'll be presenting you the top 5 best PvP decks of Season Blizzard. It's going to be similar to the previous top 10 best PvP decks for Season Shield, but I reduced it down to 5. There was a huge PvP change during Season Blizzard as one of the updates, but since this is a recap, I'll be listing decks that were once dominated by said decks. As always, like and subscribe to see more of these kind of videos, and let's dive into the list. At the number 5 spot, we have Flameflow Royal. This deck uses royal attacks to disassemble the enemy's board and basically ruin their setup. However, this was very useful against Yin Yangs and Solars, but the PvP scene was littered with combo, nuke, and even some other variants that don't need board management. This made Flameflow Royal a bit sad, and also Royal lost its job. A good Royal can successfully destroy a board, but that is highly unlikely. This deck now has to rely on Flow instead of Royal, and Flow was pretty decent during Season Blizzard. This deck can counter placement decks like Solar Lunar and Yin Yang, but gets countered by decks like Hypersyn, Nuke variants, and even Combo. After the extinction of the Yin Yang switch variants, Hypersyn has no real counters. The only counter is RNG, but that's luck dependent. This deck is one of the fastest ways to grind trophies and can beat or lose to an opponent within a minute. This deck uses Bounty to gain SP, Sacrifice to gain SP from the start, and also to deal damage, and Assassin to clear out the remaining dice of the enemy's board. This deck was highly useful during Season Blizzard because of the lack of switch users, and was actually one of the golden days of Hypersyn. The deck that can somewhat survive its might was Hellful Nuke, thanks to Typhoon, Hell, and Nuke all being some sort of counter to Assassin. However, the hard counter to Assassin is still Switch. After Earthquake's release, people have found that when put in the same deck as Atomic Dice, Earthquake can actually shine. There are multiple variations of this combination, but I will just refer to as Atom Quake. Basically, it can get to infinite waves, and it's not like it's very weak early game as well. The only problem this deck has is early bosses, but once you survive those earlier rounds, you cannot be beat. This is one of the main reasons why PvP took so long to end. Average games reaching more than an hour, stretching to 100 waves. This deck, however, is nerfed now, and it seems like not a lot of players are using it at the moment. Counters to this would be Hypersyn and Nuke variants. Hellful Nuke now is unavailable to play. Both Nuke and Hell got a nerf, which makes it impossible to play in PvP. Also, the fact that there are now Berserk waves at wave 20 in PvP just makes this deck impossible. But before the PvP update, this deck had reached waves that were once thought impossible. Not even class 13 lunar decks can get this high. With the combination of a dice that can insta-kill a mob no matter how high the HP of it is, and the infinitely scaling dice, it was a nightmare for anyone who had faced this in PvP. There is even a clip where a very good player of the name Sappa was able to get to wave 131. Counters to this is the number 1 deck on this list and Hypersyn, and sometimes Atom Quake in the RNG fights. Shield Nuke beats Hellful. How? Hellful Nuke spawns ghost mobs, but Absorb Dice can suck those ghost mobs and gain SP from it. This makes Hellful Nuke kind of a supporter to Shield Nuke. However, the reason why everyone plays Hellful Nuke instead of Shield is because it can kill Yin Yang and Solar decks easily. Shield Nuke before PvP changes would have gone to infinite waves. However, after the Shield nerf, Absorb nerf, and even Nuke nerf, this cannot be played anymore. It can still reach like wave 14, but not as much as before. Counters were Hypersyn very early on and mostly RNG. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know what you think about this list. Most of the contents of this video were before the PvP changes that happened a few days ago, so some of the lists would definitely not be the current state. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next season.